Welcome back to another lesson of Microsoft Excel. In this lesson, we are going to learn about nested if. Before getting into the lesson and learning how to use nested if, let's learn what nested if is. Nested if functions, meaning one if function inside of another, allows you to test multiple criteria and increases the number of possible outcomes. We want to determine a student's grade based on their scores. If, let's say, Omen score is, let's say, given an E6, okay, and is greater than equal, or let's say to 80 or maybe 40, then it will return something like, distinction, pass, or fail. Now to do that, we are going to show you how you'll be able to do that in Microsoft Excel. Well, it's not that complicated. It's quite easy to do it, okay? But just like I said, it allows you to find out specific results and different distinction and also criteria and matches up different values, giving you the certain type of keyword which you want. As you've used if and IFS in our previous lesson, you already know how this function works. But let's try using our if function, but we're going to use two criteria, let's say two values in a specific if function. Now, first thing what I'm going to do is going to be clicking on any one of these cells, let's say the result. Now, what I'm going to do is going to be clicking, or let's say type in equal if. Open the parentheses up, and I'm going to do is use our logical test. Now, the logical test is going to be our mark. Now, the mark I'm going to do is select it. Now, after clicking on it, let's say I'm going to do is if it is greater. Now, I'm going to do is select on 80 because I want, if it is greater than 80, then I want it to say distinction. So I'm going to type in 80. Now, after I type in 80, I'm going to put in a comma and put in double quotation. And here you're going to type in distinction. Now, I'm going to double quotation to close it off. Now, after putting in a comma in our value if false, instead of putting our value if false, we're going to do is put in another if function. I'm going to type in if, and I'm going to open up another if function. I'm going to open up the parentheses, just like you said over here, press on OK. I'm going to do is go inside of the bracket. And I'm going to click on the same number, which is going to be our E6, okay? I'm going to type in E6. Now, if the E6 is greater than 40, I want to say it pass or fail. What I'm going to do is put in this. I'm going to type up 40, which you can see 40 if fail or pass. Greater than 40 is pass, greater than, less than 40 is fail. So I'm going to put in a comma and double quotation. I'm going to type in pass, double quotation, and put in comma, double quotation, and then fail. Double quotation, close the parentheses, and you can see that I have opened up two if functions. So I'm going to do is use two parentheses to close it off. And after you're done, just press on enter, and you can see 46 is passed. Why is 46 passed? Because it is greater than 40. If it was less than 40, then it would have failed. So let's just use our fill header. So you can see that Kisak will fail. You can see over here. But I don't want to use the fill header, so I'm going to do is show it to you two more, or show it to you two more times so that you can practice a bit more. I'm going to click on this specific cell. I'm going to type on, hit on, and equal. Type in if. Now the logical test, we're going to use a different value this time. Now let's say in the logical test, I'm going to do is select the specific cell. I'm going to do is type in greater. Now let's say instead of 40, let's say 50. So I'm going to type in 50, comma. Now value of true, I'm going to put in double quotation. Now if it is greater than 50, okay, first should be 80. I'm going to do is click on this. I'm going to do is type in 80. I'm going to type in distinction. Double quotation, close it off, put in a comma, and type in if function again. Here I'm going to put in E7. 7. If it is greater, then let's say I'm going to put it to be, okay, let's just say 60 to pass or fail, or maybe 50 to pass or fail. Put in a comma, double quotation. Now I'm going to put in pass, double quotation, comma, fail. Okay, double quotation, fail. Double quotation again, close the parentheses two times. And there we go, hit on enter. And there we go, we still have pass. But if we use it over here, you can see still this is fail. Now, why is it fail? Because it is less than 35. But what if we turn it to be, let's say, 30? You can see now this is also fail. We can do the same thing over here. Let's type in 80. You can see pass. But if it is greater than 80, even type in 81, you can see distinction. We're going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to type in 100, distinction. Now I'm going to put in distinction over here, 100. You can see distinction. But what if I'm put in distinction? I'm going to put in, let's say, ace. Hit on enter, and you can see this is ace. Use this, and you can see ace over here. I'm going to put in distinction too at the same time. Now, how are you going to do that? I'm going to do is go over here, comma, another if function. I'm going to put in, let's say, E7. If it is greater than, let's say, 80, I'm going to put the same thing, okay? Make sure to keep it in mind. I'm going to put in comma, double quotation, distinction. Double quotation. Now close the parentheses over again. Hit on enter. Now you can see that it is telling me too many arguments. Why is it too many arguments? Because it is, giving me something like, you cannot use 3 if functions in a specific cell. But what you can do is take the specific one, press on Control X. I'm gonna cut this one off. I have to put it inside of over here. There we go. Now let's try it. Hit on enter, and you can see the distinction, and we have to put in a comma over here. Hit on enter, and you can still see it has given me too many, arguments, because it doesn't work that way. You can only put 2 if functions in a specific nested if function or whenever you're using it. So hope you learned everything in this lesson. I'm going to press on Control Z so that I can undo the process. Do is just keep it on OK. Control Z. There we go. I'm going to keep it to be ace, and I'm going to use the fill header, and there we go. Now, whenever you're using, let's say I'm going to put in 50, hit on enter, you can see still it is failed. It should be greater than 50. Okay, I'm going to put in 51, and you can see pass. Now, this is not ace. So I'm going to do is use the fill header again, and you can see this is still ace because it is now, only 80, but we want only 100. Okay, so I'm going to put in, let's say, only 100. Hit on OK. Now you can see it is passed. So all of them has passed. Now I'm going to do the same thing over here. Take this, and you can see distinction, pass, distinction. Okay. So thank you for watching this video. If you didn't understand a part, please let us know, and we'll guide you through the whole process. Now let's move on to our next lesson of Microsoft Excel.